Hello, it's Libby from libbystamps.com here with you today for another video, and today we're going to be making this little box that slips off. I haven't got anything in it at the moment, so I'll just leave it like that, and I've decorated it with 3 butterflies. I've used Papillon Potpourri and stamped on the crushed curry, which forms the base of the box, and punched out with the elegant butterfly punch. And then the top of the butterflies, I've used the leftover bits from the vellum, and I've punched them out with the the bitty butterflies, and I've just adhered them to the crushed curry with glue dots, and the crushed curry butterflies are adhered with dimensionals, so I won't show you how to do those today. So we'll get on with our project, and I'm using the trimmer today because we're working in metric for a change. It's just how I managed to work out the box. Alright, and all these measurements will come up as the video goes along, and I'll also put them on my blog. Alright, this is going to be the base of our box, and it needs to be a little bit smaller than the top. So we're cutting it 19.8 by 14.8, and we're scoring here at 4.95, and then you're going to turn it 180 degrees and score again at 4.95, and then you'll do the same on this side. So score at 4.95, turn it 180 and score at 4.95. Now we need to do that just so that things are even. So 4.95 is sort of between the last little mark before the 5 and the 5 in centimetres. I'll see if I can bring this down a bit so you can sort of see where I've put it. So in about there. Does that zoom in? Alright, so you've got your 5 there, and your 4.95 is about there. So then you'll rotate it 180 and do the same, just so the measurements are the same. Alright, we'll zoom back out again here, and I'll put my trimmer to one side. Now, I found making this box, it was easier to score all the sides, burnish all the sides with your bone folder first before you did anything else. So we've done that, and we're going to cut across. So on the long side, we're going to cut up the scores to the first score on each side. Cutting up the scores there. Alright, on the short side, we're going to leave about the width of sticky strips, so just about 1.5 centimetres maybe. And we're going to cut down and cut a notch and a notch. And then I've adhered sticky strip to the outside of my little flaps. Now, so I'll go ahead now and take the sticky strip off. Excuse my dental tool, I've temporarily misplaced my paper piercer, which I find easier to remove the sticky strip with. So if I remove all the sticky strip, and then we'll put that base together, and that's all we're going to do on the base today. Now, you could, if you wanted to, stamp on the base. You could use different coloured inks. You could use the same colour it would be up to you. Now I think I've told you before that I find it easier to fold the flaps in and bring my edge up till I'm happy with it, and then fold the flap in. I'll see if I can do it backwards for you this time. So folding the flap in, bringing my edge up until I'm happy with it, so about there, and then folding the flap in, and the same on this last edge. Alright, we've got the base of our box, so we don't need to do anything more with that today. Alright, now with our vellum, this is going to be a little bit different. I've cut it 20 centimetres by 15 centimetres, 5 and 15, and 5 and 10. Alright, and then put your trimmer away because you don't need that anymore. I just found the trimmer easier to use today because we were working in metric and in odd sort of amounts. Alright, so we're going to burnish all our scores, and just make sure your edges are nice and even when you burnish. So we're burnishing everything, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to put it through the big shot. And this is Stampin' Up! Vellum. It's the thicker one, and it's lovely to use. Right, just this last one. And I'm going to put it through the big shot before I do my cutting today. Alright, so I'm going to leave it folded like that. Alright, so the long side, I've got the flaps folded in, and I'm going to put it in the Beautifully Baroque textured impression folder, and where it says Sussex on the front, we know that's supposed to be the right side, although many of these folders you can use both sides. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you and your preference. So we're going to just pop that in there like that. Alright, and then we're going to pop it through the big shot. Alright, through the big shot. Remove it from the folder. So that's the Beautifully Baroque folder. Alright, now I'm just going to burnish these scores again, just quickly, seeing as they've been through the big shot. Now, as before, we're going to cut up the scores on the long side to the first score line. So each of those scores you're going to cut up to the first score line, and so they're the scores on the long side we're cutting first. Oops. Alright, and then on this one we're going to go in about the width of the sticky strip, so just over 1 centimetre, cut it off and notch it out, cut it off and notch it out. Alright, here we are to put sticky strip on the outside of the little flaps that you cut. So, and sticky strip's probably the best to use. It'll give you the strongest hold, and it's almost invisible which is what you want when you're using vellum. Putting it on all of our flaps. And then we'll put our box together. Alright, you also need your 1-inch circle punch, and you're going to just punch a hole in about the middle. So if I put a bit of a pencil mark here at 15, and the same on the other side. And while I'm at it, don't throw out your little bits that you cut off. You can use them for your bitty butterflies to punch out later for your decoration. And I'm just going to punch out just a little bit on each side, and that just gives you, or the person who gets your lovely box, something to grip onto the base with and then pull the lid of the box off. Alright, I'm just going to rub the sticky strip on a bit, so just to make sure it's stuck onto the texture, and I'm going to remove that and put our box together as we did before with the base. Still folding those flaps in. I find that gives you a good join, a nice neat join anyway, for your box. And I'm not going to decorate this one today. I've already described how I decorated the other one. Alright, so folding the flaps in and putting the box together, the box lid together. And give it a good burnish with your finger. We'll do that in a minute with our bone folder, just to make sure it's all stuck together properly. Alright, so all I do is upend my box and give the joins a rub. Alright, and that's our box lid made for our box, and it's a beautifully embellished box with the box lid with the embossing, and you can embellish that any way you like. Alright, that's it for this week. I hope to see you back again next week for another video. Bye for now.
Creation, imagination, try to draw outside the line. Let us